Hello everyone, in today's video we will continue talking about numbers. As you can see here, I've written 3 additions and 3 subtractions. Some of them include 4-digit numbers, so we'll see what we have to do in this case. I'm going to solve 1 as an example, just to show you how it works, and I want you to try and do the rest on your own in your notebook. So I'm going to solve this one right here, and I want you to try the rest. So we have 4,183 plus 1,599. Let's move this a little to the right so that the ones are beneath the ones and the tens are beneath the tens and the hundreds beneath the hundreds and the thousands beneath the thousands. Okay, so I've written it vertically now, and now I can move on to actually solving it. Let's actually move it a little further down so that we have some room. Okay, great. Now, I start from the ones from the far right, and I say 3 plus 9. 3 and 9 makes 12. I write 2, carry 1. 8 and 9 makes 17, plus 1 that I carried over makes 18. Write 8, carry 1. 1 and 5 makes 6, and 1 more makes 7. I didn't carry anything over because my result here was a 1-digit number, so all I have to do is 4 and 1, which makes 5. And I put the dot in as well. So my result is 5,782. That's for the first one. So as you saw, I need to put the ones beneath the ones and the tens beneath the tens and the hundreds beneath the hundreds, just like we did with 3-digit numbers. It's the same thing basically. So I want you to try and do the rest on your own in your notebook, and then come back and see if you did them correctly. So pause the video in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so if you're back, that means that you solved them. Let's see if you did them correctly. Let's move on to the next one. Here we have 2,507. And we're adding 493. This should not be underlined. And this should be a little further to the right. There we go. And it should all be a little lower. Right there. So as you saw here, despite the fact that this is a 3-digit number, I need to put it in like this. I need to put the 3 beneath the 7, the 9 beneath the 0, and the 4 beneath the 5. Why? Because the 3 is a ones digit, so it needs to be beneath the 7, which is also a ones digit. The 9 is tens, so it needs to be beneath the tens, and the 4 is hundreds, so it needs to be beneath the hundreds. The thousands, there's nothing here, so I don't put anything here, but if you want to imagine there's something there, well, what's the number for nothing? 0. It's like there's a 0 here. I just don't have to write it. The easiest way you can remember this is just remember that we have to stack everything to the right. Just imagine that everything is being pushed up against the wall that is to the right of the numbers, and everything needs to be as much to the right as possible. But also remember to put one number beneath the other and not have them mixed up. So here you can clearly see which number is beneath which number. You can clearly see that the 4 is beneath the 5, and the 9 is beneath the 0, and the 3 is beneath the 7. Yours should be the same way. Like if it was like this, let's say it was like this. Let's say I wrote this, and I wrote it like this. Here it's not very clear. You can't really tell if the 3 is beneath the 0 or the 7. You can't really tell if the 9 is beneath the 0 or the 5, or if the 4 is beneath the 5 or the 2. So this might confuse me and get me to make a mistake where no mistake was necessary. So let's start. I say 7 and 3. 7 and 3 makes 10. So I write 0. Carry 1. 0 and 9 makes 9, and 1 that I carried over makes 10. I write 0. Carry 1. 5 and 4 makes 9, and 1 that I carried over makes 10 again. I write 0. Carry 1. 2 and nothing here makes 2, and 1 that I carried over makes 3. I put the dot in as well, and it's 3,000. So my result is 3,000. Let's move on to the next one. In the next one, the 3-digit number is first, and this might be a little confusing. You might think, how do I place them? It doesn't matter. In addition, it doesn't matter. The smaller number can go first. Only in addition, though. In subtraction, we can't have it like that. Remember, when I try and put the smaller number first in subtraction, like let's say you try and do 1 take away 5. So you should imagine if you have 1 pencil, is there a way you can give 5 to someone? No, you need to borrow more. So you can't do that in subtraction, at least not yet. But in addition, they don't necessarily have to be. The bigger number doesn't necessarily have to be on top. They could change places. If it confuses you, you could have put this number on top, and it would have been okay. You would have gotten the same result. So let's start here. We have 7 and 3. 7 and 3 makes 10. So I write 0. Carry 1. 7 and 0 makes 7, and 1 that I carried over makes 8. 8 and 9 makes 17. I write 7, carry 1. 1 and 1 makes 2. So my result is 2,780. Great, let's move on. Let's move on to the subtractions. In our first subtraction, we have to do 8,293 take away 7,893. So let's say 8,293 take away 7,893. Let's fix this a little bit. It's far to the left. It's not exact. Let's take away this line. Okay. So, also let's move this. Let's make some room. Okay, good. Now, I start by doing 3 take away 3. 3 take away 3 makes 0. Then 9 take away 9 also makes 0. No need to borrow yet. Then I go and do 2 take away 8. Now remember, in subtraction, one of the basic rules when I'm doing vertical subtraction is I start rating from the top always. So here when you see 2 take away 8, oh, I don't say, oh, this doesn't work. 2 take away 8 doesn't really make sense. So I'm going to do 8 take away 2 makes 6. No, that's wrong. That's not how you're supposed to do this. If you did it like that, you're going to make a mistake. You're supposed to say 2 take away 8. I can't do it, therefore I need to borrow a 10, give it to the 2, so it becomes 12. Take away 8 makes 4. See, if you would have done it the other way around, you would have gotten 6, which is wrong. Then I return this one that I borrowed. I returned it here. So the 7 becomes an 8. And I say 8 take away 8 makes 0. which I don't really need to write in my result. I can just leave as 400. If you want to confirm your result and make sure that it's correct, you can flip this upside down and turn the subtraction into addition, and it should be true. So you could write, let's turn this upside down. So the 400 would go on top. So 400 plus, because we said subtraction turns into addition, and I say 7,893. And this needs to make what's on the top 8,293. And I say, is this true? If it is true, then I did my subtraction correctly. Let's see if it's true. 0 and 3 makes 3. 0 and 9 makes 9. 4 and 8 makes 12. So I write 2 carry 1. 7 and 1 that I carry over makes 8. It is correct. So I did this subtraction correctly. If I had done it the other way where I had said, well, I can't do 2 take away 8, so I'm going to do 8 take away 2, I would have gotten 6 here. I would have gotten 600. And 6 and 8 makes 14, so this would have been a 4. That would be a mistake. You see, it wouldn't work out. I wouldn't have gotten this initial result, which is what I wanted. That's in case you want to make sure that you did the subtraction correctly. Let's move on to the next subtraction. Again, like this one, if we're taking away a 3-digit number, we're just stacking everything to the right. So let's start by saying 4,856, and we're taking away 859. Okay. Okay, we've stacked everything to the right. Let's start doing this subtraction. I start by saying 6 take away 9. I can't do 6 take away 9, so I borrow. So it becomes 16 take away 9 makes 7. I return this down here, and the 5 becomes a 6. 5 take away 6. I can't do 5 take away 6, so I borrow. It becomes 15 take away 6, which makes 9. 9. Come on. I return this down here. The 8 becomes a 9, and I say 8 take away 9. I can't do 8 take away 9, so I borrow. And I say 18 take away 9 makes 9. Here you might be thinking, well, where do I return this? There's nothing here. Well, as we said before, there's no number there. What's the number for nothing? 0. So it's like there's a 0 here. If you want to write it, if it helps you, you can write it. That's not wrong. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. I return it. I return what I borrowed down here, and the 0 becomes a 1. And I say 4 take away 1 makes 3. I put the dot in as well, and I say 3,997. If I turn this upside down and I did 3,997 plus 859, I should get this. I would get this, definitely. Which means I did the subtraction correctly. Next, let's move on. I'm doing 7,000, 7,000, take away 156. Okay. Now, I start by saying 0 take away 6. Can I do 0 take away 6? No. So it becomes 10 take away 6, which makes 4. I return this down here. The 5 becomes a 6, and I say 0 take away 6 again. Can't do it, so I borrow again. 10 take away 6 makes another 4. I return this down here. The 1 becomes a 2, so I say 0, take away 2. Can't do it, so I borrow again. 10 take away 2 makes 8. I return this down here where there's nothing, so I'm going to do 7 take away 1, which makes 6. So that's all basically. That's how I do addition and subtraction with 4-digit numbers. And that'll be all that we're going to be learning this week. The next few days, we're going to be practicing on all that. So see you guys again on Friday.